It's wild. Something like 75% of salespeople don't consistently hit their quota. Crazy. It's a tough business building a killer sales team.
Yeah, no kidding. It is a tough business. I think a lot of it comes down to, well, understanding how to be successful. There are a lot of hidden things people miss.
And that's what we're going to get into today. We're going deep with some advice from Wallace D. Wattles.
The Wattles, yeah.
He wrote, what was it called again?
The Science of Getting Rich.
Right. The Science of Getting Rich, a classic.
Yeah.
And the Sales Experts Ltd. Pulled out some great quotes from it for us.
Yeah, we'll be talking about applying this stuff right now to sales leadership and hiring.
Not just motivational stuff, real practical stuff.
Totally. This is about changing how you think about building a sales team and how to get the best out of them.
Okay, so one quote that really hit me was, hold on, I wrote it down. You can never become a great man or woman until you have overcome anxiety, worry, and fear. And that's hard, right? Sales is high pressure, lots of stakes.
Oh, it's super hard, yeah. But it is the most important thing. I mean, think about how fear messes up a salesperson.
Yeah.
They freeze up, they miss deals, they don't want to go for the close. And fear, it kills creativity too. You can't stay ahead of the game if you're scared to try new things.
This was as leaders. How do we help our teams, get over that? Help them be their best?
Well, Wattles has an answer, and it's a good one. He says, basically, stop thinking about beating everyone else and start thinking about creating something new.
Yeah, he literally says, get rich by the creative method and not by the competitive one.
Exactly. It changes everything about leading a sales team.
How so?
Well, imagine a sales team where everyone is brainstorming together, not trying to outdo each other.
Well, that's interesting.
And they're encouraged to take risks, try new things, and everyone feels like they can contribute their own ideas.
That's so different from how most sales teams work. It's usually, every person for themselves.
Exactly. And that's why this is so powerful. You build a culture of creativity and you get happier people, A&D, better ideas. You stand out from the crowd and you really connect with what your clients need.
So it's not about winning no matter what. It's about winning by making something really good.
Exactly. And it all starts with how you lead, how you inspire people to be creative.
Now, this next quote, I think it ties into that. Wattles says, by thought, the thing you want is brought to you. By action, you receive it. So this is about setting sales goals, right?
Absolutely. It's about having a really clear picture of what success looks like for you and for your team.
So it's not just wishing for it.
No, you got to take action. You got to have a plan to make that vision real.
So have the dream and then figure out how to actually get there step by step.
Yes. Strong leadership in sales, it means you need a vision, but you also got to give your team the tools and the support they need to make it happen.
So how do we do that? How do we make the vision real for them?
Okay, so you start by breaking down those big goals into smaller steps that they can actually achieve. And then you got to have systems to track how they're doing and hold people accountable.
Okay.
Things like clear metrics, regular check-ins, open communication. Everyone needs to know their role.
So giving them a map to follow and then cheering them on along the way?
Yes. No more vague instructions like go sell more. Give them a clear path with milestones they can hit.
I like that. So we talked about overcoming fear and being creative, but Wattles also talks a lot about gratitude.
He does, yeah.
And he makes it sound like being grateful is crucial to success.
It's pretty key. In fact, he says, it is necessary then to cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you and to give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude.
Whoa. All things, even the bad stuff.
Yeah, even those setbacks, the things that feel like failures, those are part of the journey too.
So it's not just about celebrating the wins. It's about recognizing that everything, even the tough times, helped us get here.
Exactly. It's a different way of looking at things. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, see them as opportunities to learn and grow.
Oh, I like that.
And when you approach those tough times with gratitude, you're more likely to learn from them, You come out stronger on the other side.
It's what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
Right.
But instead of just surviving, you're actually using those experiences to grow.
Exactly. And think about how this applies to, leading a sales team. Think about a sales leader who is truly grateful even for the team's mistakes. They wouldn't waste time blaming people or focusing on the negative. Instead, they would focus on what everyone can learn from the situation. They would give helpful feedback and build a team that bounces back from anything.
So it's about creating a safe space for people to take risks.
Yes. A space where they can experiment, make mistakes, and know that it's okay. No one's going to get punished for trying. That's how you get people to be creative and innovative.
Now, I'm wondering how this whole gratitude thing fits into the hiring process, when you're trying to find those top performers.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I think it starts with recognizing that the best salespeople aren't just chasing money or recognition. They're passionate about helping their clients. They actually care about solving problems and making a difference.
Okay.
And that passion, that genuine desire to help, I think that comes from a place of gratitude. They're grateful for the opportunity to make a positive impact.
So when you're interviewing people, you're not just looking at their sales numbers. You're trying to see if they have that, what did you call it, that intrinsic motivation?
Yeah, exactly. You want to ask questions that reveal their values, their motivations, how they build relationships. You want to find someone who sees sales as more than just transactions, someone who sees it as an opportunity to really serve and add value.
So you're not just filling a position, you're building a team of people who actually care.
Exactly. Wattles has this great quote: "Give every man more in use value than you take from him in cash value, than you are adding to the life of the world by every business transaction."
That's a good one. It's
Yeah.
like everyone wins. The salesperson feels good because they helped someone, and the client is happy because they got something valuable.
Right, and you build trust and long-term relationships. That's what real sales success is all about, not just one-time deals.
It's not just about making a sale, it's about building a connection, which I think is more important than ever these days.
Yeah,
People can spot a fake a mile away. They want real, genuine interactions.
they do. And that kind of ties back to the idea of personal growth, which Wattles also talks about, always learning and adapting. He says, "The purpose of life for man is growth, just as the purpose of life for trees and plants is growth. Trees and plants grow automatically and along fixed lines. Man can grow as he will. Trees and plants can only develop certain possibilities and characteristics. Man can develop any power, which is or has been shown by any person, anywhere."
Wow. So we're not limited like trees. We can choose how we grow.
Exactly. And I think that's a big responsibility for sales leaders. You've got to encourage your team to grow, but you also have to create the right environment for it.
Like a culture of continuous learning, a place where people feel safe to try new things, even if they're not sure it'll work.
Yes. And that's the kind of environment that attracts the best people. People who are hungry to learn, who are passionate about what they do.
It's amazing how we started with gratitude, and now we're talking about growth. It's like they go hand in hand.
You're right. Gratitude opens your mind to new possibilities, and that openness helps you grow. And then as you grow, you become even more grateful for all the opportunities you have. It's a beautiful cycle.
So we've covered a lot about gratitude and growth,
Yeah.
but there's this one quote that really sticks with me. Waddle says, "You must get rid of the thought of competition. You are to create, not to compete for what is already created."
Yeah, that one's powerful. It's like he's turning the whole idea of sales on its head.
Right. It's not about beating the other guy. It's about building something new, something better, something that nobody else has.
Exactly. And that applies to everything. Leading your team, hiring new people, even just coming up with your sales strategy. If you're always focused on what the competition is doing, you'll never get ahead.
You're stuck playing catch up.
Exactly. And you'll never really innovate, You'll never come up with those truly game-changing ideas. That's where Wattles' focus on creativity comes in. You got to build a team that isn't afraid to think outside the box.
A team that feels safe to try new things, even if they fail sometimes.
Yes. Because failing is part of the process, right? You learn from your mistakes and you get better.
It makes you wonder how many great ideas never saw the light of day because people were too afraid to try.
Probably tons.
And this applies to hiring too, I think. If you're only looking for people with the same old experience, you're going to miss out on those who could really shake things up.
Absolutely. You got to look for those people who are hungry to learn, who have new ideas, who aren't afraid to challenge the status quo.
People who embody that Wattles idea of, doing things in a certain way.
Yeah. With intention, with purpose. That's what makes a difference.
And that's where leadership comes in, right? It's our job to create that kind of environment where people feel supported, encouraged to grow, and free to be creative.
Absolutely. And I think that's what Wattles was getting at with all of this. It's about shifting your mindset, embracing new ways of thinking, and always striving to be better, not just in sales, but in everything.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into the wisdom of Wallace D. Wattles.
It's been a great conversation.
It has. And I hope everyone listening feels inspired to go back and read The Science of Getting Rich for themselves. Or at least check out the blog post from the Sales Experts Ltd.
Yeah, there's some great insights there.
Absolutely. And remember, as Wattles said, everything that touches your life is an opportunity if you discover its proper use. So go out there and make the most of every opportunity you get.